Let's hear it for Jamie Campbell.
So I recently quit my day job. I think that deserves a round of applause. Looking back on that last day of work, that would have been a great day to sexually harass somebody, you know? But you can't go back. You can't. You know what else you can't do? I don't know if you realize this, but you can never forget how to ride a bike. Have you heard this news? You can never forget how to ride a bike, which gives me great comfort in case I ever get amnesia, you know? So at least I got that. I don't know my name. Don't know my address. I don't know if I'm attracted to brunettes or men. But I sure as hell know how to operate this Huffy White Lightning. I don't even know if this bike is mine. That is not going to stop me from pedaling around town looking for clues to my identity. So imagine I quit my day job and my family found out that I'm just trying to pay the rent with dick jokes. They're like, oh, really? Oh, just comedy, huh? That's it? Just comedy. Oh. Well, how's that working out for you? Tell you how it's working out. I have a Cricket phone account. I have to specify account because I do not have a phone. Yeah, broke my phone, cannot afford a new one, but I'm still paying the minimum balance on the bill so I can check my voicemail on other people's phones. That's how it's working out. I'm 35 years old and I still have a roommate. It's not how I thought life was going to turn out when I was a kid. And I pay less in rent under the condition that I don't go in the living room. For breakfast today, I had peanut butter and jelly out of a bowl. Trying to say, Zach and Cody, you ain't the only ones living a sweet life. Sometimes you do a gig and you just get paid in drinks. You know, no money, just, yeah, we're going to give you some free drinks though, right? It was a terrible idea when you think about it, isn't it? So I want you to come out to our venue, be sharp and quick-witted so our audience has a good time and they come back. Not going to pay you in cash though. No, still we're going to give you an unlimited supply of this substance guaranteed to impair your motor skills. Good luck, fucker. If you guys are anything like me, you'd like to get paid as much as possible. So I did a gig like that recently. I had about 7 Long Island iced teas. Went home, started to cry, called my dad and told him to tell me he's proud of me. Had to borrow my roommate's phone. As it turns out, I do not have my dad's phone number. I called the corporate offices of Dad's Root Beer. Left a very long voicemail. But it turned out for the best. They're sending me some coupons. They're proud of me. All right. My mom's going nuts. It started around Y2K, I think. She just stocked the fuck up. Anybody else here, a family that just bought into it, stocked up on shit? My mom, number one item she stocked up for was, or stocked up on was a Miracle Whip. Like if the apocalypse happened, you were never going to tell her that wasn't a sandwich, you know? Just a closet full of tangy zip, you know? My mom lives in Oklahoma, and if you haven't been, I'm not surprised. Not a lot of travel agents pushing that as a destination, you know? Now, there's not much there. It's mostly chain restaurants and beauty colleges. Why are we calling it beauty college? Let's be honest. If you're going to beauty college, it's because college was not for you. And my mom's there. I only see her about once a year around Christmas time. And because I only see her about once a year, I don't see the day-by-day progression progression of her insanity. It's like here and a year later, fucking here. And one thing that I took for granted when I moved to Chicago, being a small town kid from Oklahoma, was holidays with family, right? Those are important things growing up. But when you pursue the arts, you're not always going to have supplemental income to go and visit your family at those important times. Like, for example, Thanksgiving, which used to be a family holiday. Now, usually when I'm stuck here in Chicago, I do what they call a Friendsgiving. You guys ever do a Friendsgiving? Yeah, for you guys that don't know what that is, that's where you eat Thanksgiving dinner by yourself while watching reruns of Friends. They were on a break. Also, Halloween is a little bit different here because I live in Boys Town, which, very exciting. If you're not familiar with Boys Town, I'm assuming because we're in Chicago, most of you are, but it's an amazing gay neighborhood. And I don't mean like just a gay neighborhood. It's like where people from RuPaul's Drag Race come and hang out. So they're doing it up on a fucking Tuesday, just because fuck it. So when Halloween shows up, shit gets real. And I remember being a small town kid from Oklahoma showing up here for my first Halloween in Boys Town. I remember walking around the corner and I saw Superman blowing Wonder Woman. And I was like, which one of you is my Uber driver? But Christmas I usually spend at home, and one thing that my mom's taken to doing lately is doing her Christmas shopping way the fuck in advance. And when I say way in advance, I don't mean several months. I mean many, many years in advance. Like whatever she buys me this year, I will not get till my mid-40s. Last year, I opened up my gift from my mom, and I received one bottle of Limp Bizkit cologne. Which, by the way, if you've never smelled that, it first smells kind of cool. Then about 5 minutes later, you realize, no, it does not. And then you deny that you ever enjoyed the scent to begin with. She also gave me the weirdest Christmas gift I've ever received in my entire life, which was 8 of my dead grandmother's old dresses. What the fuck? I mean, don't get me wrong, she was a big lady. They'll fit. But I found it to be the weirdest gift I'd ever... And my mom was so excited. Like, she didn't wrap them up. She had them hanging in the closet of the guest bedroom. And she just had this twinkle in her eye that just said, I have gotten you the gift to end all gifts, mister. She took me by the hand, led me down the hallway, and go to the guest bedroom. She opens up the door and is like, ta-da! And I'm like, what is happening? I was like, Mom, why are you getting me 8 of Nana's old dresses? And she just smugly leans in and she goes, oh, you know, for your comedy. My mother has never seen me perform comedy. So I don't know what goes on up here in her mind. But I do know it involves me being dressed up like a golden girl. It's an adventure to do comedy for a living because just to pay the bills, like, there's a big difference. When people find out you're a comedian, they imagine you're like Chris Rock or Jerry Seinfeld. There's a tier way the fuck below that shit. And yes, I am paying rent, but I'm eating the fuck out of ramen noodles at 35. Like, I still eat like a college student, you know? And so you got to pay the rent any way you can. There's no, I'm too good for that. No, because I'm not too good to fucking be homeless, you know? And so sometimes you got to search for gigs on Craigslist. Any of you guys ever surf the talent section of Craigslist? It is mostly porn. By the way, if you're a pregnant lady looking to get into the biz, there are opportunities. But sometimes you'll find a spot sandwiched in between sandwich opportunities. And I got a gig recently where I got paid $500 to play Captain Hook at a 5-year-old's birthday party. I know I got the body for Smee, but they wanted Hook. That's what they got. Boy, I tell you one thing I learned at that party. Kids are assholes. They just say whatever the fuck they think, don't they? I'm just saying this right now. If you're a kid, you're probably a piece of shit. Mr. Rogers, I am not. So I'm sitting there at the party, and this 5-year-old kid just looks up at me all wide-eyed. And he goes, "How did your belly get so big?" And then I murdered him. It's one thing they don't teach in theater school. You murder the birthday boy, you don't get paid. Actually, I didn't murder him. I set him the fuck down and I said, "Let's talk. We're going to learn some shit about each other today." We did. We taught each other all sorts of things. I taught him about eating my feelings. And he taught me about the Cookie Monster. Which I thought he was just calling me that for a minute. And I was like, fuck off, all right? So no, I'm not a father. I don't moonlight as a babysitter. I haven't been on Sesame Street in a while. But shit is a-changing. I don't know if you guys are aware about this. Or aware about this. What the fuck is happening? I used to be hooked on phonics, but I got off of it, and now this is how I talk. So deal with it. But Cookie Monster apparently is no longer eating cookies. Did you guys know this? You guys knew it? Fuck you, okay, because I didn't. It makes no sense, right? His name is Cookie Monster, right? That's like if a dude, his name was Pussy Fucker, but he's totally gay. That's just my name. Get that pussy away. That was a fun thing that just happened in the moment. I don't know, I've been watching this Pussy Fucker show and it just... When's he gonna fuck a pussy? Like, is he confused? Because that's totally a dude's butt. But yeah, Cookie Monster, no longer eating just cookies. Apparently what happened is parents got together. Cookie Monster, like Sesame Street changed it to where he eats fruits and vegetables, and now cookies are his sometimes food. Because parents had a conversation, because there's this epidemic in the U.S., all these morbidly obese kids, you know, running around. Well, not really running so much as... waddling. The parents got together, they said, "Oh, we got to do something about these morbidly obese kids. Clearly it's the Cookie Monster's influence." Take it from me, I was a morbidly obese kid, not the Cookie Monster's fault. Blame it on an absentee father and a lack of self-esteem. But don't pin this shit on the Cookie Monster. First off, parents, he's a monster. And if your kids don't know they don't want to emulate a monster, I want to encourage you not to let them watch that Charlize Theron film. Or really any Charlize Theron film. Also, still calling himself the Cookie Monster, even though only occasionally eats cookies. We covered this before. We're like, it makes no sense. It's like Stephen Hawking calling himself the Tickle Monster. It's not a threat. You really want to affect these kids, have the Cookie Monster continue eating nothing but cookies. Don't change his diet. Just eat cookies, and then one day on an episode of Sesame Street, just die. Of a heart attack. And then your kid freaks out, says, "Mom, Dad, what happened to the Cookie Monster?" Say he's dead? Because his fat ass ain't nothing but cookies. Now shut your mouth and eat your orange slice. So honky's a weird word, right? Honky? Like it's supposed to be a racial slur, right? But it doesn't have the sting of every other racial slur out there. Probably 'cause it's meant for white people and we deserve it. Let's be honest, folks. You don't believe me? Crack a history book or Try to give a blanket to a Cherokee. We've done some shit. It also sounds kind of like the name of a birthday clown, doesn't it? It's like, oh, well, Susie's turning 7, so we've hired Honky. It's going to come over and make some balloon animals. Should be pretty sweet. I remember the first time I heard the word honky, I was in 3rd grade, and my family had moved to this neighborhood. And we were the only white family in the neighborhood. And I'm playing on the front lawn like kids do, and there's another kid about my age playing on the lawn across the street from me. And he just starts yelling insults at me, just from across the street, picking on the new kid like you do. So I yell back at him, I go, why don't you come over here and I'll beat your ass? Because I don't take no shit in 3rd grade. And he yells back to me, he goes, I don't come to honkies. I had no idea what that meant. But I had no problem crossing the street myself, which I did. And we proceeded to beat the shit out of each other for like 15 minutes. And then became best friends. Right? Because kids don't have the attention span for ignorant hate. We're like, I'm tired of beating you up. Cool, I'm tired of beating you up as well. What do you want to do now? I don't know. Want to play? Yes. And we do. We play together all the time. We actually built a clubhouse together. Yeah. It's made of 4 pieces of water warp plywood, rusty nails, and poor parental supervision. Should have collapsed on us and killed us. But it didn't. And all the neighborhood kids would come over and play in this clubhouse. And I remember one day this girl named April goes, Jamie, we've got this club. We need to have a name for the club. It's like, April, that is a fantastic idea. What do you think we should be called? And she goes, I know. Why don't we be called the Black Panthers? I was not familiar with the organization. All I knew is that sounded like the most badass name for a club ever. So for a brief period in the 3rd grade, I was a member of the Black Panthers. Still get the newsletter. So you guys realize we're living in the fucking future right now? Holy shit! We're living in the future. I know it's the future. Space Odyssey was 2001. We're way the fuck past that. Lenny Kravitz's dick popped out in England. 2 minutes later, sitting in Chicago, Illinois, I saw Lenny Kravitz's dick. And all I want to know is, Lenny, when can I see you again? It's the fucking future. Also, Back to the Future. Boy, they fucking bullshitted us on that, didn't they? This is supposed to be the year that shit happens. Back to the Future 2, this is that year. Motherfucker. We got no flying cars. I cannot dehydrate a pizza. But I will be honest with you. Printers have gone way farther than they thought they were going to be. Like at some point in a Back to the Future 2, like writers meeting, they were like, yes, all this shit's gonna, hoverboards? Fuck yes. But a dot matrix, that's as far as printers are gonna go. And I'm real disappointed about the film because I believed all that shit was gonna happen. They predicted the Cubs would win the World Series. They made the fucking playoffs. Maybe that's gonna happen. But I'm not convinced, and here's why. Because another thing they predicted, this bullshit, is they predicted by this point we'd have cured Parkinson's disease. Because yeah, I saw Michael J. Fox in 2015. He wasn't shaking for shit. That's right, folks. I'm controversial. Deal with it. I love those time machine movies, though. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's a DeLorean, a hot tub, a phone booth, what the fuck ever. If it's a time travel movie, I'm going to watch it. And I'm always thinking about what I would do if I had a time machine. I can't be the only one. Any of you guys ever think about what you would do if you had a time machine? Yeah, what would you do if you had, like, let's say right now, just hypothetical. I got a DeLorean here, fully functional. We got a flux capacitor in the back, gas tank full of plutonium. I toss you the keys, ZZ Top style. Where's the first place you're taking this sucker? Don't worry if you fuck up the answer. We'll just go back and fix it. You said go to the future? God damn, that's specific as fuck. What's that? You want to see when they get the cool stuff? Because the iPhone is not enough for you, man. What do you think kind of cool shit's going to come? You think the holodeck's going to be real? If the holodeck was real, why the fuck would you go to the real world, right? Cool, I can just fuck things. Also, how in Star Trek The Next Generation was not everybody just fucking in the holodeck, right? Like, that would have been the worst job on the Enterprise. As we turn the holodeck off, go mop, motherfucker. Because you know you got a day off. What are you going to do? I'm going to come on some holograms. Even Data was a robot. He'd have been coming on some holograms. I'll tell you what I would do if I had a time machine. By the way, I love that you would not use it to stop 9/11. Good for you. I'm going to see what kind of gadgets we have. Them towers still going down. I would just use it to pull pranks. That's what I would use a time machine for. Like, you guys are probably familiar with Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a child. Do you guys remember back in the 80s, before it was Chuck E. Cheese, when it was Showbiz Pizza? Anybody that is not familiar with Showbiz Pizza, it's like Chuck E. Cheese, except for there was an animatronic band called the Rockafire Explosion. They are robots. They're great. They're a cover band, because fucking how much do you want, son of a bitch? We got a robot band. You want originals? Fuck you. But here's what I would do. If I had a time machine, first off, I would take it back to the 1930s. Snatch one dude out of the Great Depression. And then I'll bring him forward to about 1987. And the only thing I would show him about the future is the inside of Showbiz Pizza. Then I would just drop his ass right back off in the 30s to tell the tale. It's like, holy shit, y'all ain't gonna believe the future. I don't know why the guy I snatched out of the 30s is an effeminate Southern male. Just more fun for me. Y'all ain't gonna believe the future. At some point, we're gonna stop swimming in water. It's gonna be replaced with plastic balls. And Darwin is not fucking around. You're not gonna believe what these animals can do. Drum solos. And the pizza in the future is gonna suck. We got any baseball fans in the house? Anybody enjoying the great American pastime? I used to be a huge baseball fan. I'm not so much anymore, but like as a kid, like I read the entire baseball encyclopedia front to back. Clearly no girlfriends. But at some point I stopped being interested in baseball. You know what I think it is? I think it's the steroids, you know? Probably, like, I don't know who's doing the steroids and who's not doing the steroids. I don't like the mystery of it. You know, I'd be fine if they made them legal. Hell, make them mandatory. Change the name of the game to Monster Ball. I watch the fuck out of that. But I don't like, is there an asterisk? Is there not an asterisk? What the fuck is an asterisk? I don't know. Do the Astros get an asterisk? I'm not sure. And when I stopped being interested, it was a few years ago, gosh, almost a decade at this point, when Alex Rodriguez came out on ESPN and did an interview, and he admitted to doing steroids. You guys remember that? Yeah, you know, for me, I saw that and I was like, damn it, you guys used to be my heroes. Now you're not a hero to me. I can't handle it. Because I'll tell you who was a hero. Was Babe Ruth, right? This is a man who used the opposite of performance-enhancing drugs. Babe Ruth would show up to game one of a doubleheader still drunk from the night before, sporting a raging case of gonorrhea. Proceed to hit 3 home runs, 2 of them clean out of the stadium, then trot around the bases eating a meatball sub. That's a hero. When Alex Rodriguez admitted to doing steroids, he cried in the interview. What a bitch, am I right? The only time Babe Ruth ever cried was when he failed to satisfy both women in a menage a trois. That's a hero. I got mugged. You know what? I wasn't going to tell the story earlier. We saw a brief picture earlier. Some of you guys knew me back then. In 2012, I got fucking mugged in the city of Chicago. It was terrifying. It was actually a couple blocks from here, right across the street from the Pick Me Up Cafe. And I don't even remember it happening because I got fucking lit. I was very drunk. I had a really good set at another place. Like, there was a famous dude performing, and I had a better set than him. And I'm like, fuck yeah. I want to be rich soon. I'm not. It's not happening. Just 3 years later, I am not any wealthier than that. Selling CDs after the show. They're just copies of Limp Bizkit's Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water. But I get loaded, and then I come back here to Comedy Sportz, which has always been my home, and we were hosting the Comedy Sportz World Championships, which means all the 20-plus Comedy Sportz locations all over the world, they come back here, and or they come, like, one city hosts it every year, and basically it just becomes this giant, like, festival of people doing Comedy Sportz, and it's awesome. And so we keep the party going, but it's not open to the public. We're doing like a private party, and I just continue getting obliterated. And my friend Jen, who is our stage manager here, goes, dude, you're really drunk. Let me drive you home. And I go, I live 2 blocks away. What's the worst that can happen? It happened. So I don't remember it. All I remember is waking up the next morning. Right? I remember leaving here the next morning, waking up and going, God damn, I have a headache. How much did I drink last night? And I couldn't open my right eye. But I have seasonal allergies, and I'm just thinking, son of a bitch, springtime is a real asshole right now. Then I walk to the bathroom, and I see my face. I'm like, holy fuck. And that picture came up. Abby, can we bring that picture up again? I had headshots taken. Did not get much work off of those headshots. I got to play Drew Peterson's wife, but that's the only role I got. So that happens. Let's get that the fuck off the screen. So I wake up, I look in the mirror, and that's what I see, and I don't remember anything. I'm like, what the fuck happened? So then I go back to my bedroom, and it's like the beginning of Memento. You're just putting together all the pieces. Like, it had happened outside, and, like, I'm standing in, like, my undershirt and my boxers. So, like, at some point, I get upstairs. I managed to open up the door to the apartment building, and then the door to the apartment. I get in there, and I sleep for, like, 10 hours. And at some point, I took off my clothes. I was like, I may have been brutally beaten, but I'm not a barbarian. I'm not going to sleep in these street clothes, damn it. I have a college degree. And, like, I checked my body, and there were no bruises anywhere else. But, like, my shirt that I had been wearing the night before had some dirt on the front of it. So nearest I could figure out is they pushed me from behind, and they kicked me in the face. And then, like, other clues, they were like, I had these 2 mid-level bookshelves, and they're both just collapsed from the top down. But what was weird for me is, like, one of them was a bookshelf that I had all these collector glasses from places that I had visited. They're all on the ground, none of them broken. As if mid-fall I went, whoa, wait. Memories. Now we'll break it. And for me, the reason that I know, because I started wondering, you wonder when something like that happens, you go, maybe I was talking some shit. Maybe I was the instigator, because now and then a homeless guy will just shake his fucking jar of change at me, and I'll go, fuck off! It's mostly because I'm like, my rent is 3 weeks late. I'm about to be you. Are you offering me some? Because I'll take it. So it's like maybe that happened that night and somebody fucked me up and I deserved it. I don't know. But here's how I know I did not start the fight. It's because you know how your iPod, if you yank out the headphones, it pauses it, right? So I see my iPod there. It wasn't taken. And I know on the way home, I was listening to some damn music because that's how I roll. And I know it was probably on full blast. So people were probably like, hey, asshole. And I didn't fucking say shit because I'm rocking out. And I know that I didn't start the shit because if you listen to happy music, you don't start a fight with happy music, right? Especially if you're drunk, you're like, fucking life is great. And so I see that and I'm like, oh, here's a clue. I'm going to fucking put the headphones back in, press play, and hear the soundtrack to my mugging. And you know what song I was listening to when I got mugged? Hall & Oates, You Make My Dreams Come True. Trying to think, because like I had the biggest tits in middle school. And like it's a tough thing. Like going up to a girl to hit on her, but like your tits are bigger is tough. Like she wants to ask you things. It's like, what are you eating? Does that cream work? What's going on? I don't know. It's like middle school I didn't even kiss a girl till my junior year of high school. And I was an idiot too. Because like in my mind, I'm cynical now, but I used to be very sentimental to where like every moment was special. It mattered. And I remember I was hanging out as friends with this girl named Stacy Braddock. And she's this really great, really nice girl who clearly liked me. We're just hanging out as friends, and like all of her friends are like, when are you going to kiss Stacy? Do you really like Stacy? What's happening with Stacy? And in my mind, I'm like, why are they even asking me this? She hasn't said anything to me. It's because she's fucking asking them. Because I'm an idiot. But I finally planned it. I was like, I'm going to make it, I want to kiss her. I know she's into me, but I want to make it perfect. Usually if you want to make it perfect, guys, you just try too hard and you fuck it up, right? And boy, did I do that night. I was driving a pretty sweet car. It was a champagne color 1989 Mercury Sable. I had a trait. I had a car kit for my Discman. And I remember casually Stacy mentioning she enjoyed that Eric Clapton song, Wonderful Tonight. And I was like, yeah, you do like that song. So I pulled up to pick her up for a date on Valentine's Day. And she comes out of the car, and I had it just planned out perfectly to where as soon as I turned on the car, wow, wow, wow. It's late in the evening. Anyway, all that song plays. She's like, I love this song. I was like, I know. And then I leaned in and I gave her what was probably a horrible kiss. It's like all tongue, no lips, you know? And then she goes to me, she's like, so what are we then? And in what I thought was the coolest line ever, I just go, you want to be my woman? And it was cool because she said yes. Like a week later, she broke up with me because she thought I whispered I love you in her ear, and she was like, I'm not ready. All I said was like, I want to have lunch with you. I did not after she broke up with me. So we have the 13-year-old here. What about you ladies? What's your deal? Are you in relationships with these two dudes? And we just got the 13-year-old as a buffer? Holy shit, what are you, eating Activia? I don't know. You look great for 13. Is there anybody here dating? Is that happening? Yeah, who's dating? You two are dating? Awesome. How long have you guys been together? 2 years? Where did you guys meet? Online? Yeah? Yeah, what site? Christian Mingle? Farmers only. And ever since then, consider those fields plowed, right? Nice. So 2 years, do you guys like how do you keep it fresh? Do you spice things up? Do you have any, you guys into some weird shit now? You LARPing or something? How does it? You guys ever do that 69 position all the kids are into? It's real popular out there. Google it. It's a real treat. When I was a kid and I first heard of the 69 position, I was under the impression there was a numerical list. And this just fell 69th in order. I was like, I'm going to have to memorize so much. Then I saw how the numbers were put together and I was like, I see what you're doing there. That is clever. And that's when I invented a sexual position, you guys. I'm a sexual pioneer. It's when I invented the 96 position. That's where you and your lover proceed to fart on the back of each other's necks. Nobody gets pregnant. Do it wrong, you might get pink eye, but nobody gets pregnant. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember. Any of you guys remember phone sex? Right? Like long before sexting and Snapchat and Tinder, there was phone sex, sometimes from a landline. You know? And if you were lucky enough to have a significant other do it for you, good for you. I did not. So what I did is these 900 numbers are very popular, where you spend several dollars a minute, have a complete stranger just say filthy things in your ear. You know, and I got hooked on that back when my dad was paying my phone bill. But now that I'm on a comedian's budget, I can't afford it. So what I've been doing, though, because I still want to get my fix, is calling the suicide hotline. Because that's free, you know? And they got to talk to you. You know, they answer the phone, they're like, thank you for calling the suicide hotline. And I'm like, what are you wearing? Well, I don't see how that's relevant. Tell me what you're wearing or I'll kill myself. I'm not going to tell you it's been working out, but I am still alive. Any of you guys like karaoke? Is that a thing in your lives? Because I love it. I love it. I love karaoke so much it's starting to actually influence other parts of my daily life. What I'm trying to say is I have karaoke sex. Yeah, well, that's where I take a woman that somebody else has already fucked really well. That I fuck her poorly. In public. That's how that works. You know, you guys seem like a bohemian crowd. Do you guys watch these art films? Talking about porn. You guys watch these porno movies? Boy, these titles are getting out of hand, aren't they? It's like, hello, spoiler alert. Don't give it away with a title. Let me get there with the actors, you know? Surfing the web for adult cinema recently, I saw a title called Weapons of Ass Destruction. Sounds terrifying. Like all I can imagine was like the biggest dicks and the tiniest buttholes. Right, and I imagine at the end of the film there's got to be an in memoriam. These are the buttholes that will not be appearing in future films. They've been destroyed. I mean, I didn't watch it, you know, because I'm not into politics. Saw another title. I could not believe this is a real title, but it's called Stop Bullying Me and Fucking My Mom. I have several questions. The first of which is, why is fucking my mom second on your list? Get your priorities together, nerd, and you wouldn't be getting bullied. That's all I'm saying. Calm down. It's a free bucket. I remember when I was a kid, like, we didn't have porno, like not the internet porno like we do now. Like, we had internet, but like it wasn't films, right? It was like you get a picture, and then the picture would load line by line. And it would take forever. So like by the time you got to a nipple, like you'd either finished or lost interest entirely. And growing up with a single mom, like I didn't even have my dad's Playboy stash to raid going through puberty. Very confusing for me. I had so many questions. Like, as a matter of fact, my mom, she used to have this book called What to Expect When You're Expecting. And like as a kid, I loved the book because like she was a single mom, but a single mom who sure liked to get pregnant, you know. And I liked looking through the book because it had sketches of naked ladies in it. Like they were drawings of pregnant naked ladies, but beggars can't be choosers. But, you know, I couldn't always take that with myself for, a read. Mom had to be out of the house. So, like, for me, I remember, like the first time I masturbated, there was really no material around. Like, the first time I masturbated was to an issue of Ladies' Home Journal. It's an article on gardening. There wasn't even a picture, but I can imagine that woman out in that garden, digging. Anyway, flashback. Something that I didn't even know I was masturbating. I'm just sitting on the toilet bored. Like, there were no smartphones. There's just nothing to do with your hands. Just slapping myself to pass the time, you know? It was like an early prototype of the Bop It, if you've ever played with one of those. It's like, bop it. Twist it. Spin it. Flick it. Cradle its balls. Did you do that with a Bop It? I don't know. And then suddenly I had this feeling, and I was like, whoa, that felt really good. What was that? Oh, can I do that again? Turns out I could. Next thing you know, I'm playing my body like a washboard in a jug band. And then I had the most amazing feeling ever, followed by a terrible mess. But I wasn't concerned about the mess. I can clean that shit up. I was concerned about the feeling. I was like, oh, I can do this all the time for free. And suddenly it was like, to hell with sports. Forget video games, you know. This is my thing. You know, they say if you want to get good at something, you got to practice. Let me tell you, I could have played Carnegie Hall. And all of a sudden, my mom's like, he is so into his hygiene. He's taking like 9 showers a day. If only she knew I was doing the opposite of hygiene. Actually, she walked in on me, forgot to lock the door in my haste to get to the bathroom and get this demon seed out of me. I was excited because a new edition of Ladies' Home Journal had come in, you know? Remember, this time was an article on stain removal, which is ironic. And I'm sitting there doing what musicians call a solo. And then the door swings open. I was like, ah! But I thought fast, you know, and I turned my body quickly to the side so that my back is facing the door, blocking my rock hard erection, which, by the way, is standing up tall, like it's being called out to win an award. Like in the award for best supporting penis is, oh my gosh, I didn't even plan a speech. I don't want to thank the Academy, certainly. Jergens, they played a part. And of course, where would I be without the folks of Ladies' Home Journal? And so my mom couldn't see my hard-on, but I was sitting sideways on the toilet. There were questions. And so my mom was like, Jamie, why are you sitting sideways on the toilet? Now, at this point in my life, teen angst got me out of everything. So I just angrily leaned over my shoulder and go, God, Mom! So I shit now. She left me alone. To this day, though, I'm pretty sure she thinks I shit sideways. But I have had sex. It's happened. With humans. Tell you a college sex story here. Actually, I have a degree in theater, which is pointless. Like, there's no reason to have a bachelor's degree in theater. Like, I spent thousands of dollars and 4 years of my life to play pretend. I have never once been on an acting audition where they said, before you audition, let's see that diploma. I mostly use it for giving paper cuts to my wrists. When you start off studying theater, like all actors, they have that dream role that they want to play, right? Like Biff in Death of a Salesman, or Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire, or Hamlet in Hamlet. But for me, my dream role was just guy who kisses girl. Because in my mind, life is going to imitate we're going to get way too into our roles. Those onstage kisses going to turn into real life kisses, right? But that kind of stuff doesn't happen to me, except for this one time it did. I'm going to tell you about it. I had this class called Theater Appreciation, where mostly it's not people that are studying theater. It's a humanities course. If you're a theater major, you have to take the class. But 90% of the students are people that are like, oh, cool, I can get a general education humanities credit out of the way without having to memorize the names of statues. I'll take that. So I'm taking the class. Most of the people not interested in acting. And we get this assignment to pair up with a classmate and go out and take a scene from a play, memorize it, rehearse it, and then come back and perform it for the class so that we can get an idea of what actors go through. And I get paired up with this girl named Rebecca. Now, Rebecca is not interested in this assignment. And I go up to Rebecca, and I'm very excited about the assignment. I'm like, Rebecca, so we're going to be partnered up for this scene. What play do you want to do a scene from? And she goes, I don't even care. You pick. Oh, I picked a kissing scene. It's from the play Biloxi Blues. If you're not familiar, all you need to know is this character that I played by Matthew Broderick in the film, just finished his basic training, and he's out on a date with a girl, and he's like, I'm about to go to war. She's like, oh, bummer, and then they kiss. There are more lines than that, but that's the idea. So I present the scene to Rebecca, and I'm like, here's the deal, Rebecca. There is a kiss in this scene. If you're uncomfortable with it, we don't have to do the kiss. Here's the thing, though. I think it makes the scene better. Probably going to get a better grade if we do the kiss. Also, I've been studying acting. I learned this thing called a stage kiss, which is all lips, no tongue, very professional, super profesh. And Rebecca thinks about it for a second. She goes, all right, well, do the kiss. And she drives to my apartment that night. And I go out to meet her. By the way, weird side note, she opens up the trunk of her car, and it's full of Frito-Lay products. It's like, apparently she worked at the Frito-Lay factory as her college job. And she goes, I don't know, I just thought I'd bring you guys some chips. All right. So we load up our arms with chips, bring them into the kitchen, and just set them on the counter, go to the living room, and start to rehearse the scene. And I say, Rebecca, before we start, I think we should rehearse the kiss. We shouldn't just do the kiss for the first time in front of the class, because then it'll be awkward and weird. It probably won't look natural. We should probably practice it. And remember, I learned that stage kiss, it's all lips, no tongue, super profesh, right? And she thinks about it, and she goes, all right, well, practice the kiss. So we go through the scene, we get to the point of the kiss, and I lean forward, I do exactly what I promised, the stage kiss, all lips, no tongue, super profesh. Rebecca, on the other hand, slid a tongue forward into my mouth, and I'm like, oh, shit. Somebody wants a ride on the Jamie train. And there are seats available. So next time we get to the kiss, I put my tongue forward too. We do a little square dancing in each other's mouths. Then continue the scene. And here's the thing. This kiss evolves as we rehearse the scene over and over again to the point that it's not even just a kiss anymore. Like it evolves into like a 15-minute hardcore makeout session. Like we're pressing each other against the wall. Our faces are smushed against each other. Like slobber is flying out of each other's mouths. It's gross. And then every time, though, we go right back to the last two lines of the scene as if nothing happened. Never acknowledging what's going on. And I decided it's time to take this to the next level. So next time we get to the kiss, I don't even go for a kiss. I pull her shirt up, pull her bra down, pop a titty out, and commence to sucking. This came as a surprise to Rebecca. She just freezes up on the couch. I'm like, oh, shit. This is far from the professional stage kiss I have promised. I'm sitting there thinking, shit, I made it weird. We're early in the semester. If it's weird in class now, that's a lot of weird, you know? And she's just sitting next to me in silence, just staring at me, terrified, for what feels like 4 years. Like I can feel a beard growing on my face. Probably really just about 15 seconds. And then she just leans to me after I'm like, I'm so sorry. I made it weird. And she just goes, fine by me. Aw, shit. Fuck the scene. Fuck the girl. So I take her back to my room, and we have some of that like athletic, college-age sex, like the shit you can only do in your early 20s, right? Like we're not just having sex. Like we're stretching, we're bending, we're doing reps of things. We're getting a full-body workout. And then we collapse in each other's arms and just end up spending the night together, not out of any romantic obligation, just because we fucked ourselves exhausted. And we wake up the next morning, and we have some of that morning sex, which is both delightful and disgusting at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? You know, you're exhausted, like your breath smells terrible. You know, your hair's messed up, your makeup is smeared, both hers and mine. But you're also in that state of consciousness between being awake and dreaming, where it's just like, oh, this feels like the best dream ever. And we switch things up in the morning. We do that reverse cowgirl position. If you're not familiar, it's like a regular cowgirl, only fucking. Thing about the reverse cowgirl, too, is the brown eye, the old butthole there, just kind of winking at you the whole time, just facing you, just like, we're sharing a secret, aren't we? Yeah. Don't tell my dad. And you know, sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you have what they call a little bit of sleep in your eye. Yeah. There's a little sleep in the brown eye. Oh, you're grossed out? I was there. Just a little flake of Duke just floating around the outside, you know? What you Star Wars fans might call a perineum falcon. I'm like, because like I couldn't just like be like, oh, we got to talk about it. Get a little poop. Got a little poop. So if I thought it was weird when I sucked on her breast the night before, this would definitely make it weird, you know? It's like, I don't know what to do, huh? I was like, maybe I can just flick it away. Maybe I can just... And she's moving around quite a bit at this point, though. And I'm like, what if she goes back as I go forward and I just, boom, flick her right in the butthole? And she turns, she's like, oh, you're a butthole flicker? That's your thing? You're a butthole flicker? Can't have that on my reputation. I'm just a sophomore, you know? Then there was a desk right next to my bed, and I see like there's a pencil there. And it's like, oh, maybe I can just push it out of the way, you know? But she's really having a good time at this point, you know, a lot of movement. I was like, I don't know, what if she just bucks forward as I do this? And it's like, whoops, lost it. Be a real number 2 pencil then. And that Scantron circle would be completely filled out. So finally, I was like, I can't take it anymore. So I just pushed her off and was like, I forgot I have an early meeting. I'm 23. Who the fuck has meetings? But she bought it and she left, and I was like, oh, phew. You know, I went out to the kitchen, too. I was like, I got to get this. I got to tell somebody so it's not just in my head. Now, my roommate's in the kitchen. I'm like, yes, I can tell Rob about this, but I never got to tell him because he's just standing in the kitchen with his jaw dropped wide open going, dude, where'd we get all these chips? So thinking about porn films before. Any of you guys ever watch an adult film with a platonic friend? Somebody you're not sexually interested in at all? Does that happen for any of you guys? Yeah, you have? A long time ago. Who was the friend? It was in middle school? Holy fuck. Do we need to call someone? You're not her friend, are you? The 13-year-olds? Oh, you just found one. Is that what happened? You were in middle school and your friend had a house of her own? Oh, it was her mother's house. Her parents' house. I'm glad her parents were still together. Do you remember what the film was?
Yeah, I do.
You do? What was it? It was what? Cherry pickers? It's just a bunch of migrant workers fucking. I can't speak for middle school, but as an adult, watching a dirty movie with someone you're not sexually interested in, it can be weird, right? But you wouldn't think it would, right? With other genres. Because, like, I'll watch a baseball game with a guy that I have no interest in playing baseball with. Or, like, I'll watch an episode of Law and Order with a woman I have no intention of murdering. But porn can be weird. It happened to me in college. I watched a porno with a platonic friend. I had this racquetball buddy named Pedro. It's not a euphemism or anything. We're just a couple of dudes that enjoy a rousing match of racquetball. And one day after we play a game, Pedro goes, "Hey, Jamie, I just got this new porno. You want to come back to my dorm room and watch it with me?" Thinking nothing I wanted to do less. You know, sometimes your mind freezes up and you can't think of an excuse to say no. That's what happened to me then. I was like, I guess this is part of my story. So I go back to his dorm and he pulls it out. Well, not that. The film. It was on VHS, which shows you how old I am. It's back when everybody's collection was, because DVDs were new, so like everybody's collection was half DVD, half VHS. And the title of the film was Double Penetration Girls. Which tells you exactly what you're getting into there. One girl twice. By the way, if you're unfamiliar with what double penetration means, I encourage you to Google image search it. You're in for a treat. I'm not going to go too into detail. Basically, the way I would describe it is, imagine if you're holding a party, but your invitations say, "Hey, we don't care what entrance you go through, the front or the back door, just so long as you come to the party." And the film is exactly what you might imagine, just one classy DeVry dropout. And a couple of fellas who are either real comfortable with each other or fairly certain they're never going to see each other again. And they get right to the sex, too. No plot, no dialogue, which I'll be honest with you, took me right out of the film. And they all strip down, and the first guy goes over and he sits on this couch that you hope no one will ever sit down on again. Then our ingenue walks over. She mounts him, and he's in what I like to call the non-standard entry. It's the butt. Then our third actor walks over, and he doesn't really have a lot of portal entries available to him now. Really only one choice, so he sticks it right in her Georgia O'Keeffe. And then they zoom in, and let me tell you, there is nothing erotic happening at this point. Just looks like a weird science fiction horror movie. You just see 6 legs in motion. A couple of ball sacks stacked on top of each other like bean bags. And she is making a lot of noise. Like, I can't tell if she's really into it or really hating it. But she is certainly not indifferent to the experience. And then the guy in front, he He pulls out, he finishes first, emits his essence, if you will. And then he actually makes a kind of a blooper. He accidentally ejaculates all over the other guy's scrotal region. Which is a faux pas, I don't care what industry you're in. And then he improvises a line. I was impressed. I don't know if this guy took Second City classes or what, but I was like, good for you. He just goes, sorry, man. I accidentally came all over your balls. Then the other guy whose face we've not seen for like 20 minutes just leans around the girl, gives a big thumbs up, and goes, it's okay. We're racquetball buddies. Haven't seen Pedro since. It's real weird. So anyway, I should be dead. I've done a lot of dumb shit. You heard about the mugging. I'm an idiot. A lot of times with booze involved. Done a lot of dumb shit in my life. Case in point, when I was 18 years old, I was a pretty cool guy. Pretty cool guy. Kind of guy that gets invited to keg parties. You guys remember keg parties? Yeah, we're not that excited about them now, are we? Because we're grown-ups, right? Like we might have a keg of beer at a party. We don't call it a keg party anymore. Right? Because now that we're adults, there's no reason to hide the booze in the woods. When I was 18, we did just that. I was living in South Florida at the time, and we got some kegs, and we loaded them up into our SUVs, brought them out to the woods. We drove our cars because we were smart drinkers. There's that age I think most of us have been, right? Like where you love the feeling of being drunk, but you hate the taste of everything required to get you drunk. So you just drink as much of it as fast as you possibly can, right? And where I'm standing out there in the woods with these kegs, like, I don't even have a cup. I got a 2-quart Kool-Aid pitcher. I'm just guzzling it. I got my shirt off, my man tits flapping in the wind. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to get blackout drunk, you know? Standing next to this random SUV. I don't even know who it belongs to. Right? And I'm having an adamant conversation. Because when you're 18 years old, every conversation is an adamant conversation. No idea what I was talking about. Probably how I thought the band Crazy Town was going to stand the test of time. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby. And I'm punctuating the end of every very important sentence by slapping the passenger side window of this random SUV until suddenly, smash! Oh, fuck, party foul. So, fuck, my bad. You know, I was like, I don't even know who this vehicle belongs to, but like, I might be getting blackout drunk. I'm not an asshole, though. You know, and so I was like, we got to find out whose car this is so I can exchange some information and get this fixed, right? But before I can find out whose vehicle it is, word spreads through the keg party. And this thuggish dude just comes running at me. Go, motherfucker, you broke my window. It's like, I certainly did. My fault, sorry. And he goes, fucking hey, you write me a check right now, son. So writing you a check is a keg party in the woods. Did not think the checkbook would be necessary. He goes, nah, fuck that shit. You write me a check right now. It's like, oh, you yelling louder and jumping up and down suddenly made a checkbook appear in my pocket. 5 points for Hufflepuff. It's like, no, it did not. I cannot write you a check. I don't have one. And it's not possible. And he goes, all right, well, fuck this then. We're fighting. I should mention at this point in my life, I was a Division I prospect in the sport of wrestling. I handled myself pretty well. Don't worry, it did not pan out. So this dude just lowers his head and rushes at me. And he approaches me. I just gently pick him up, set him on the ground, and go, stop it. He gets back up, does the same thing. just lowers his head, rushes at me, and again I lift him up, set him on the ground, and go, I said stop it. You're being ridiculous. He gets back up and he goes, oh, fuck this. We're not fighting. I'm getting my gun. Oh, it's right. It's at this point, if I was a smart man, which I think I have demonstrated I am not, I would have made my exit from the party. Instead, I just stood around high-fiving people. Sure enough, dude shows back up with a gun. And I don't know if you ever had a pistol pointed at your head, all semblance of being a cool dude goes right out the window. I got curled up in a fetal position and was like, fuck, man, I will borrow a check from a friend. We'll build a bank right here. I'll open an account, man. Shit. Just don't kill me. And like I was already shirtless, and at this point, he's got the gun pointed at me. His friends are kicking me in the side. They kick my shoes off. So now I'm shirtless and barefoot, not my most congenial moment as a teen. And I'm thinking, this is it. This is how I die. But luckily, word again spreads fast through this keg party. And my best friend at the time, Ray, pulls up beside me in a pickup truck. He's like, dude, jump the fuck in. And I'm like, oh, shit, gun, truck. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to jump up, get in the back of that truck. Hopefully this guy will not pull the trigger and kill me. Spoiler alert, he did not. So I mentioned I'm shirtless and shoeless. Also that night, my pants pretty loose on me. And as I decided to make the leap into the back of that truck, my body left the ground. My pants did not. And I lay in the back of that truck. I'm in my boxer briefs and on the ground are my shoes, my shirt, and my pants. It looks like I have been raptured. And for me, the best part about that story is I never had to pay for that fucking window. Thank you, Chicago, for the last time. I'm Jamie Campbell.
One more time for this giant piece of shit, Jamie Campbell. Let's hear it for all your other comics like Cody Melcher, Abby Stassen, Steve Lyons. I've been Kevin Pomeroy. The bar is still open. Hang out with Jamie. Thank you so much, everybody.